Thank you, Pastor Biagi, for sharing so beautiful stories. Pastor Biagi was missionary in Russia for 15 years. And I am sure that he knows many incredible stories. He's sharing some with us. I have stories to tell you today, and I love to tell stories as well. This morning, I want to present a panorama, a view from the literature evangelists all over the world. Want you to know? Yes? So let's start our trip. We will start our trip in 2016. This is the presentation. Yes, this is the presentation. 2016. The first convention that we will see is Romania Union Elite Convention in 2006. I have many pictures, but I don't have time to show to you today. If you want, you can go to my Facebook page and you look there. Pictures about literature evangelists all over the world. This is Romanian Elite Convention 2016. It's a very nice group of literature evangelists. I had the opportunity to go back to Romania 3 times after that. They are vibrant and passionate for literature evangelism. This group is from Philippines. 2017, Philippines National Elite Convention. You see, in this picture, we have around 1,000 elites. Philippines is one of the countries that has the most big army, right? Now we go to Botswana. Botswana, 2017. We started the year in Botswana in 2017 with this beautiful group of elites, and the way they sang and they dance and they are enthusiastic, it was contagious, I tell you. And then this is from South Zambia Union, right? 2017 as well, 2 years ago exactly. And we had the opportunity to visit Pastor Nelson Simwemba with his army. And also we went to North Zambia Union, and we met there 2 publishing directors, Pastor Elvis Chimbo and Pastor Mutoya, right? So now we have only Pastor Mutoya there because Pastor Chimbo is now serving the Stamboro Press. So beautiful, vibrant, uniformed group of elites. It was a memorable elite convention. This is 2019, South American Division Elite Congress. We had the opportunity to be there in April, and we met with 2,500 elites gathered together to attend this meeting. I think Pastor Tercio will present more pictures of this big convention or congress. Let's move ahead. This group is from South Korea. Look, beautiful group. I was surprised to meet these people there. People committed with the gospel. One of these elites were able even to meet with the president of the country and to sell a book to the president of the country. Imagine that. So this group is very special. They work in the former Soviet Union territory. Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, literature evangelism, more stands. No? All the stands are there, okay? All the stands. They are so enthusiastic. Tomorrow I will tell a story from this place. It's amazing, incredible. And this group is from Ukraine, former Soviet Union. Ukraine Elite Convention. July this year we had around 100 elites. And now we go to Switzerland and Austria. I was surprised to meet this group there. I thought in Europe we didn't have such a nice group of literature evangelists. But I was mistaken. I was wrong. No, they have a very committed group of elites, and I met some of them. I will tell stories from them later. Okay, let's move. China. I will go to China in February. So pray for China. It's a challenge. But we have 400 Elis in China. We have Elis in Vietnam, which is a communist country as well. It's part of SSD territory. I went there in 2017 for the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Eli program after the war. In 75, when the war was finished in 1975, most of church organizations were closed, but they opened again canvassing work in 2007. In 2017, they celebrated anniversary. So from them, we had this group on your left. This group is working since 2007. And among them, this lady, her name is Trindao. She is not only a regular Eli, but she represents SSD as layperson, as a woman, as an Eli, to the executive committee of the General Conference. Can you imagine that? We have a literature evangelist, part of the executive committee of the World Church. Can you believe? A literature evangelist from Vietnam, Trinh Dao, a young lady. So let's move, and my presentation now is the 5 characteristics of a successful Eli. 5 characteristics. Can you take note? I have the privilege of meeting many Elis around the world. I am learning with you. I like to talk and to listen experience from Elis, and I will share some of them. The first characteristic is successful Elis, they work systematically. There is no best characteristic than this one, because this one is the beginning of success. If you want to be successful, you need to work systematically. There is another word for systematically. You could understand work hard. But not only work hard, work intelligently and work constantly. Because if you work 5 days per week, if you work 8 hours per day, you will be more successful than the one who works only 1 day per week or 2 days per week. Work means effort, plus intelligence, plus God's power, right? So work systematically means having a plan to work. I met this couple in Switzerland, Christian and Claudia. By the way, Christian was the previous publishing house manager. You know, he was president of the publishing house in Switzerland for 5 years. Then he left, and he became a literature evangelist. I never had the privilege to see a publishing house manager that resigned to become a literature evangelist. And Christian decided to be a literature evangelist. Not only him, but his wife as well. And they decided to work with magazine subscription. They have a very nice program of subscription of magazines. They sell subscription for 2 years. Customers, they pay and they receive our health magazine for 2 years. And they decided to start a program to get the most big number of customers in a short period of time. So they worked 15 months since he became Eli. And during 15 months, he has 1,000 names in his list of subscribers. So he sold subscription to 1,000 people in 15 months. Can you imagine that? Subscription for 2 years. He and his wife. And he said, Pastor, we have a plan. We go to the field. We divide. I go to one side of the street and my wife to the other side of the street. 12 p.m. we meet together. We have lunch. We talk about what we experience, and then we continue during the afternoon. After 6 p.m. we meet again. We go home. And we have been repeating that for 15 months, he said. So this is working systematically, right, to reach a goal. The next one I want to share with you, it is a small or little man. His name is Solon. He is from Haiti, the country of Haiti in the Caribbean area. But he lives in New York. But he doesn't speak any English. He doesn't speak any Spanish so far. When I met him in 2017, he was the champion of the Great New York Conference. We have 60 literature evangelists there in New York. And I asked Solon, how come you don't speak English, you don't speak Spanish, and you canvass here in New York that most people, they speak only English or Spanish? He said, Pastor, I memorized the presentation in Spanish. I memorized the presentation in English. And then, what do you do? I asked. He said, I work hard. This is his secret. He memorized the presentation in 2 languages, and he goes and work hard. Because, you know, when you don't speak very well the language, I know by experience, my own experience, it's hard to speak, right? It's hard to communicate. But he memorized the presentation. He has this limitation. He presents a memorized presentation. But he compensates his lack of communication skills with effort, working hard. And he is the champion among 60 other literature evangelists. Let's continue. Number 2, successful LEs, they have a customer's database. This is a tremendous secret. If you don't have a customer database, you are losing time, you are losing money, you are getting tired earlier, and you are likely to quit before others. Pay attention. If you don't have a customer database, you are throwing money to trash. Because a database of customers will make you a champion. You will never go back to a home without knowing who is there. Because you have a list. After 1 year collecting names of customers, addresses, information, you can go again to the same customer with a different book, and you knock the door, hello, Mr. Mario, how are you? It's my pleasure to be with you again. So, database is very important. It's very simple. If you have a database on paper, it's okay. You don't need to have a computer. The first literature evangelist I ever met that had a database, he hadn't a computer. Had everything on paper, in a box, you know, shoe box. Very simple. And paper there, by order, January, February, March, April, April, May, June. Everything organized. So when February comes, he goes there. So, oh, I have some information here from February past year. I can go again. Oh, he take notes about information about the customers. So here is one of them, Edgardo Otto. He's from Argentina, the country of Pastor Biagi. He's a German guy, almost 1.9 meters or almost 2 meters tall. It's a big one. Otto, his last name, a German. And he is a very dedicated LE. He even wrote a book. This is his book, To God Be the Glory, his book. And it was published by our publishing house, only with experience, canvassing field experience. This picture, he sent to his publishing director through WhatsApp. And this picture shows exactly what he does. He worked hard. The 2 first pictures, or the 3 first, this middle picture, center, shows his dedication. He says in the first one, we go out together, son and I. Sun means sun, sunshine. When the dawn arrives, he goes out. He lives outside of the city. Second one, he says, not either the worst frost can stop me to go. Not even the worst frost can stop me to go. And then the fourth one here, he said, this couple, this is the fourth time that I met them. This time they purchased 5 volumes. Can you imagine that? He's visiting a couple for 5 times, or it means every year he goes to the same couple. And the last time he went, the same couple purchased 5 volumes. So database is very important. Database payoff. Experience that. Start 2020 with a database. Start with the first customer. First name, first address, first information. And you collect this. After 1 year, you will be rich. You will be rich. And the following years will be easier because you'll have a database. Okay? Let's continue. Third characteristic. Successful literature evangelists are persistent. This is something very important. The story is this lady I met in Switzerland. I need to speed my presentation. But Anneliese Spitzley, she is a 86 years old Eli. 86 years old Eli. And she is canvassing for over 60 years. She has been literature evangelist since I was born. Yeah? And she said, Pastor, as long as God gives me strength and health, I will continue. So literature evangelists, they are persistent. They go until Jesus comes or they die. Number 4, successful Elis are constantly improving. Oh, this is a nice story as well. Let me tell you the story of Mauritius Brito. He is a doctor, but when he was 15 years old, he became a literature evangelist. He was a teenager. Mauritius started very early sharing books on drugs, alcohol, drugs, because he, as a teenager, unfortunately, he experienced drug. He was a drug addict. But he was converted, and then he became a literature evangelist. One day, a manager of a bank came to the conference asking the treasurer for somebody from the church to present a seminar on drugs and alcohol to his employees. And the treasurer, knowing Mauritius' experience, said, let's send Mauricio to this bank. Mauricio was 17 years old when this happened. And he went, and he found a group of 20 people gathered in a room, all of them waiting for Mauricio to listen his story. You know, after his presentation, all of them purchased our books. And he was so glad that he said, oh, this is nice. I need to continue presenting seminars. And he decided to go to this direction. He came back to the treasurer and he said, Pastor, when you have any other bank wanting a seminar, I am here. I would like to do. And the years passed by, and Mauricio decided to study in the area of health. He studied biomedicine. After 5 years, he was graduated in biomedicine, but he decided to continue working as a canvasser. As he continued, he progressed. Every time that he would present a new seminar, he had more knowledge to present the seminar. Finally, he was a doctor, and he continued. After some years, he decided to get a master's degree in health. And after Few years, he decided to get a doctoral degree in health. All these years, 32 years had passed, and Mauricio is still a literature evangelist. He decided to open a company named Vida Institute, or Quali Vida. Quali Vida is his name, the name of his company. Quali Vida means life, quality life, something like that. Vida is the word life in Portuguese and in Spanish. So he decided to open this, and now he presents seminar for companies. He started with a group of 20. Now he presents to 1,000, 2,000 people. And he sells for 1,000 at once. And he sent me this picture here with 27 boxes, empty boxes, saying, "Thank you, thanks to the Lord. This is the result of just one presentation, one seminar." 2,700 books in one seminar. Can you imagine that? In 2018, Mauricio sold around 800,000 US dollars equivalent. Can you imagine? In 2018, he said, we know that he was the world elite champion. Pastor Tercio told me that there is another one who is, disputing. Okay, let's go ahead. And number 5, and last one, successful elites, they live for mission. You like that? I live for mission. It's a beautiful theme, right? But successful elites, they live for mission. Let me introduce to you this man, Jernival Siqueira. I met him 2 years ago. Although I come from South America, when I was director in the division, Jernival was not a literature evangelist. He began his ministry as a literature evangelist in the year 2012, 2013. He's a new one, but now he's around 60 years old. He was a very successful businessman. He had a car shop. He was a car dealer. In 2008, he experienced bankruptcy. And he got debts. And as a result of debts, he was even condemned to jail. And he was arrested because of debts. His creditors took him to court and then to jail. Then he came back to church. He was released from jail because he was not a delinquent. He was in debt because his company went to bankruptcy. Yes, and that time we had a tremendous economic crisis in the world. 2008 was a dark year in the history of economy. Then he came back to church, and later he became a literature evangelist. When he was released from jail, he had nothing, only a bicycle. He had cars, he had houses, he was a rich man. One of his daughters, you can see here, she was a pilot, a driver, professional pilot. He was champion of these 1,600 cc competitions with Beatles, this Volkswagen car. And she was very good. And not only she was a driver, pilot, she became a model, and she became a TV show presenter. And she was also a part of the company that was bankrupt. And one day she had to pay the employees. And her father said, Fabia, we can sell anything, but we need to pay our employees. We need to sell anything. and she had a car, and she decided to sell her car, race car. And then it was the turning point for them. She left car competition. She went back to church, and now Jernival is one of the champion in baptism. He's a champion in sales. He's a champion in missionary work. And every year he brings to church over 10 people, every year. And he says, there is a video you can see on YouTube, those who understand Portuguese. He says like this, to every customer, I offer not only a book, but after they purchase a book, and offer Bible studies to each one of them. And now he is a literature evangelist that brings people to church every year. And his daughter, who was a car race pilot, she is a literature evangelist as well. Can you imagine that? So literature evangelists, they live for mission. So may God bless you as we try to establish these 5 points or 5 characteristics. Let's go back. As we have time, we can go back to remind the 5 characteristics. The first one is work systematically. Yeah? Work systematically. At least 5 days per week. At least 8 hours per day. You will see the results. Number 2, have a database. You will be tired only when you reach 90 years old, if you do that. Number 3, be persistent. Work with determination and persistence. Number 4, develop yourself. Look for improvement. Don't stay as you are. Look for more knowledge and preparation. And number 5, live for mission. You will be successful. May God bless you.